Hey everybody, it's Norris with the Norris Group. It is Friday, February 9th, and when it comes to wage growth, is it going to be able to keep up with interest rate increases and price increases? That and much more as we cover the biggest headlines in real estate. Don't miss the radio show and podcast this week. We've got Steve Baston. He's with John Burns Real Estate Consulting, and I got a really great email. If you're not on their email list, you should, because they sent out some really great research. And I specifically reached out to them this week because they sent out an email about products, design, and things that consumers are expecting in new construction, but also rehab. So we do a really great interview over the next 2 weeks talking about generationally what consumers are expecting from builders and rehabbers, as well as specific design trends in construction and rehab. So don't miss that on the radio show and podcast. Both foreclosure starts and sales were at their lowest since 2000, according to Black Knight, with starts at 649,000 and sales at 232,000. Home prices in December increased over 6%, according to CoreLogic. Fannie Mae released their latest home purchase sentiment index, which showed sentiment was up 3.7% to 89.5 in January. And the Mortgage Bankers Association reported mortgage delinquency rates increased in the fourth quarter and now stand at 5.7%. Do you want your mortgage company texting you? I certainly don't. At this year's MBA Servicing Conference, however, Fiserv broke down their borrower interactions from their Experience and Expectations report. Apparently, roughly 30% of their clients receive information related to their loans via text message, which is completely surprising to me. I hate getting text messages from businesses, and I can't recall any that I would want on a regular basis like that. Now we have to think about virtual digital assistants. 69% of millennials use voice-activated devices, and of those, 37% of those voice-activated devices are used for financial functions. So 33% of millennial consumers are interested in voice-activated technology, but the numbers for older generations are much different. So 13% of Generation X, 7% of baby boomers. For your homework, if you're not understanding what I'm talking about, look up Google Italian grandmother. Start there, and we'll talk more next week. Realtor.com asked this week, is your kitchen making you fat? Yeah, of course it is. That's the excuse. For those of you that are going with that excuse, there may be something a little bit to it, I guess. Studies have shown that one of the things that could have an impact on your eating habits is your living environment. So things like having limited cabinet space where you have to leave food on the table, well, according to them, what you see is what you eat. So if you got food on the counter, you're going to eat it. Well, apparently I not just eat what's on the counter. If there's chocolate anywhere in any drawer, I'm going to find it and I'm going to eat it. Oh, and the chips in the pantry, those are going to go as well. Even the color of your kitchen can trigger hunger, so stay away from the color red. It's no surprise that a lot of fast food restaurants, they use the color red because it makes you hungry and it also makes you get out of the restaurant fast. According to the Wall Street Journal, rent control continues to be the topic du jour as lawmakers and tenant advocates in California, Illinois, and Washington State are looking to repeal laws banning cities from imposing rent control or limits to regulating rent increases. California is poised to be the largest battleground this year. We've already started talking about that. Advocates have already gathered over 100,000 signatures of roughly 365,000 that they're going to need to place the issue on the ballot. They're going to try in November to repeal a 20-year law that put statewide limits on rent control, so it's more controlled by the state and less on local municipalities. If the law is repealed, cities would be able to put rent control on apartment buildings built after 1995 and on single-family rentals. So for landlords out there, you really need to pay attention. Earlier this year, an effort to repeal the Costa-Hawkins Act, which prevents cities from capping rent on new construction, failed. It was a big victory for landlords, but we must pay attention. There is a small but increasingly loud group of naysayers and NIMBYers in the 20 regions that are the finalists for the new Amazon headquarters that don't want the new Amazon headquarters. While many cities are offering Amazon billions in tax breaks, these locals have no interest in the company in their backyard. They say their communities are thriving on their own, and they're looking at the downside of actually winning, like diverting money from schools and other services, making housing more unaffordable, clogging roads and transit routes. This is a stark contrast to the local officials, on the other hand, who, like mayors and state governors, who are rolling out the red carpet and dusting off their checkbook, offering massive incentives to get Amazon in their backyard. Amazon said it has invested more than $100 billion in the U.S. and created 200,000 jobs. It is unclear if they will be one of the companies that bring back offshore billions back into the United States. We will have to wait and see. Why is everyone always picking on millennials? Wait. Oh, this story is about Generation X, and oh wait, that's That's me. Well, according to the National Association of Realtors, Generation X is struggling the most when it comes to being able to purchase a home. This report is based on responses from non-homeowners in a survey performed each month in 2017. Here's why. Gen Xers are at an age where they may have children, car loans, and credit card debts, says Jessica Lautz, and she's the National Association of Realtors managing director of their survey research. They're also less likely to be able to move back home to pay down debt. So I guess they're not included in the boomerang generation. Maybe we're just a little bit too old. But are you ever too old to move back in with mom and dad? Guess so. Anyway, let's not forget that the financial crisis hit Gen Xers particularly hard. They purchased homes at the peak of the market and probably lost homes at the peak of the market and have a home that was underwater and without equity for a really long time, so they're probably just a little bit trepidatious about entering the market. Although last year's buyer sentiment report from the National Association of Realtors showed non-owner occupants expressing concern that now was the right time to buy, apparently, improving financial situations along with changing lifestyles is getting some of them a little bit more excited about jumping into home ownership. The main reason is something you would totally expect, change in lifestyles like marital status or having kids, or just retiring. With prices and mortgage rates expected to increase, however, affordability pressure will be a big issue in the coming year, and supply is lacking. So when houses go on the market, I just experienced this. I sold a house. I had 5 really great offers at a price high. I was not expecting to get as much as I did, so I've seen this firsthand. So with the Trump tax changes, I'm interested to see what you think. Will wages increase as quickly as increase in payments that they would receive because of increasing prices and potential interest rates? Love to hear what you have to say. If you're on YouTube, please leave a comment below and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a beat. If you're on Facebook, please don't forget to not only like the Norris Group page, but don't forget to add us to your See First list and with notifications on. Leave your comments below the video, and if we missed something, share the story on our comment sections on either YouTube or Facebook, and we'll make sure to include it on our blog at thenorrisgroup.com/blog. Upcoming events: February 15th, we'll be doing Stay Put or Cash Out with Tigar, so if you're a realtor in the Corona area, hopefully we'll see you there. March 7th, Bruce will be participating in the 2018 Real Estate Market Forecast along with Christopher Thornburg and John Cusing. If you are a realtor or real estate investor in the Inland Empire, is always super interesting to hear this group of economists and thought leaders in the space talking about what they see at the local, state, and national level when it comes to the economy and housing, so you won't want to miss that. Find out more information on the website. March 14th, we are going to be up in Sacramento, one of the few times we're up in Northern California. Bruce will be on the 14th doing Stay Put or Cash Out with NorCal REIA, and followed on the following Saturday with Cashing In on a Boom. This is the one-day event that we do where we talk about the buying strategies working in today's market. We'll tweak it a little bit to include the Sacramento and the Northern California market. And Property Radar has agreed to come out and do a special 1.5-hour technology. We get to test out their technology, and you get to see firsthand how to develop marketing lists and leverage their platform to do really cool marketing to equity sellers. But we'll also do an interview with Property Radar on marketing trends. They have definitely released some very interesting things that I think will get people excited. April 4th, we'll be doing Stay Put or Cash Out in the Inland Empire at Ivar, and the 19th in April, Stay Put or Cash Out in Pasadena at Pasadena Phoebe. For more information on hard money loans, including fix and flip, buy and hold, and new construction, please check out thenorrisgroup.com. We've got rates starting at just 6.9%, real deal for rentals. And for trust deed investing, passive investing, check out tngtrustdeeds.com. And with that, have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next week.